This is part 1 in our Geometry Basics video notes. In part 1, we are going to look at addition postulates. Addition postulates, there are two different ones we're going to look at. We're going to look at segment addition and angle addition. So to begin, segment addition postulate, you can see the definition off to the side right here. It says if A, B, and C are on the same line, or if they are collinear, with B in between A and C. So you can see we have point B. It is in the middle. It is just in between A and C, not necessarily in the middle. Then AB, this portion AB, plus BC gives us AC, the entire distance. So basically the two pieces added together give us the whole segment. So if we look at that with an example, it says points J, K, and L are collinear, which is the basis for this postulate. If JL equals 25, I would label what you know. So we know that JL, which is the entire thing, J to L is 25. It says find in JK and KL. So the first thing we're going to do is find n. All right, to solve for n, we can see that IK right here is a piece of our segment. And then we also have KL right here, another piece of our segment. According to our segment addition postulate, we should be able to add one piece of our segment to the other piece of our segment, and it should equal the total length of the segment. Again, they gave us the total at the very beginning. We've set up an algebraic equation. Now it is combine like terms and solve. 8n minus 7 equals 25. 8n equals 32. So n equals 4. Combining like terms, adding the 7 over to both sides, and then dividing by 8. So there is part 1. We now know what n equals. To find JK, which is our blue one, well, we know that JK equals 3n, because that's what it says right here. JK is 3n. So we are going to substitute our n value. So JK is going to equal 3 times 4, because 3n means 3 times n. So JK is going to equal 12. And then the last piece of this is KL. We're going to do the exact same thing to find KL. Remember, KL is 5n minus 7. So we're going to substitute that in. KL equals 5 times 4 minus 7. KL equals 20 minus 7. So that means KL equals 13. Notice that these two are not the same length. We have 12 and we have 13. Segment addition does not mean they are equal. It means that they add to the total. So you could double check this to make sure. Remember, our total is 25. 12 plus 13 gives us 25, which was our total at the very beginning. So we know that we are correct. The other postulate we are going to look at in this video is the angle addition postulate. It is very, very similar to the segment addition postulate. The only difference is we are now going to be dealing with angles. These angles are always going to be named with 3 letters, which is going to be an important fact from our vocabulary video that you watched previously. So in this angle addition postulate, right here, it says if point D is in the interior of ABC. Now notice angle ABC. ABC is the full angle. It's all the angle. So if D is in the interior of this angle, then that M in front just means measure, so that you know. That means the measure measure of angle ABD. So the measure of ABD, which is this bottom angle right here, we go from A to B to D, plus the measure of angle DBC equals the angle ABC, the measure of angle ABC, which is the total thing. So the red and the yellow angle add together to have the same measure as the blue angle. So let's do an example like this down below. Example number 2. As you can see, it has listed a lot of information. I highly recommend you label as you can. So what I see here says the measure of angle SPR is x plus 78. So SPR means P is the vertex. So P is the vertex, and we go from S to P and from P to R. This angle is x plus 78. Now let's look at our next angle. The measure of angle QPR is x plus 49. Again, P is the vertex. So Q, P is in the middle, R, so QPR is x plus 49. And then it tells us that angle SPQ is 109. Now S to P to Q is the total angle. Now you can write this however makes sense to you. I like to kind of draw a line and say that the whole thing is going to be 109. That tells me that that entire angle is 109. It asks for the measure of angle QPR. Now angle QPR is that red angle that we labeled. Before we can find the measure of angle QPR, first we have to solve for x. This is where that angle addition postulate is going to come in play, where we can add the two interior angles, and it will give us the entire angle together. So we can take the yellow angle, x plus 78, add that to the red angle, x plus 49, and this will equal the total, the blue angle, of 109. From here, we are just combining like terms. So x plus x gives us 2x. 78 plus 49 gives us 127. Then we are going to subtract 109 minus 127. That gives us 2x equals negative 18. And then divide by 2, we get that x equals negative 9. It is okay that x is a negative number. What's going to be important is when we plug x into one of these angles, that the angle does not turn into a negative value. So then step number 2 is to find the measure of angle QPR, which is x plus 49. And just like for the segment, we are going to substitute in what we know. So negative 9 plus 49. So that means the measure of angle QPR is 40 degrees. So what I want you to do, I want you to pause this video and try number 1 and number 2. I really do need you to pause it and try it on your own before you check your answer. So go ahead and pause and work on these 2 problems. As you can see here, I have both answers worked out and completed for you. So number 1 asked you to find the angle KJP that ended up being 65 degrees. And number 2 asked you to find the distance from B to W, which ended up being 8. If you've got any questions on this, please call your teacher over so that we can see where errors might have gone wrong. If you are good, go ahead and continue on to part 2 of the Geometry Basics videos.